Welcome, boys and girls, to today's video. Have a seat here in my living room and let's have a little fireside chat without the fire about gear and the importance of it, and really the importance of maybe not having it. Interesting stuff. It's a topic that I'm really passionate about and have been for the last couple years, and I really want to take some time, sit down, and just voice my opinions and thoughts on this. I'm probably going to piss off some people, and then I'm probably going to save a lot of other people from wasting a whole lot of money. So let's jump into it. First of all, this is a subjective topic, and half of you are going to disagree with what I'm saying, and that's totally fine. I get it. I'm prepared for the thumbs down and the hate comments. But let me just kind of preface this and just break people into different categories, okay? The way that I see it, there are three main categories of people that are going to be buying photography gear, okay? There's, number one, there's the people that are like myself. These are people that are employed full-time as photographers. This is the only thing that we do for money, okay? Like, I don't have another job. I have no other source of income. All I do is shoot. I shoot weddings. I shoot styled sessions. I do photography workshops, things like that. That's all my income, period, okay? Group number two are people that just love photography, have a passion for it, and have a disposable income, okay? They choose to spend the money on really expensive gear because they just like it. You know, just like someone might like nice watches or cars or whatever it is. Their thing is gear, and they really just love it, and they like spending money on it. They don't think twice about it. They want the latest and greatest because they want to get it for the sake of just getting it because it's fun for them. They enjoy it. They enjoy the tech. They enjoy the features. They like just having nice toys and things like that, okay? That's sort of the second group. But these people have other jobs. They have other sources of income. And photography is definitely not their primary source of income at all, okay? That's group number two. Then the third and final group, and this is the group that I really want to try to help the most. These are the groups of people that are aspiring photographers. These are people that are dabbling in photography, really want to take it to the next level, are truly a little bit clueless when it comes to gear, or at least know what they don't know, if that makes any sense. These are people that would love to do photography as a profession one day, and they are looking to the world, they're looking to YouTube, they're looking at people like myself and other bigger YouTubers on gear and reviews, and they're very influenced on what other people do in terms of what they end up doing for themselves, in terms of buying decisions and what they get and why. Those are the other groups of people, and these people typically just have regular normal jobs. They're not rich people. They typically do not have a ton of disposable income. They're very month to month in their bills, but they want to make that transition. And I have been in every one of these categories at one point or another in my life. So let's talk. So I'll make this super easy. If you're in the first group, like me, full time, you probably aren't really that excited when it comes to new gear. Buying new gear is a pain in the ass. And that's because we run a business. Like, my photography studio is a business. My wedding business is a business. My portraiture work, the workshop, everything comes down to dollars and cents. And when photography becomes a business, there becomes a lot more paperwork involved, and you have taxes, and you have so many other things, insurance. And at the end of every month, you have a P&L report that you should be looking at, especially at the end of the year. And when you start to take into consideration the business aspects of what you do, it becomes abundantly clear that spending money on gear is just not the number one thing that we would want to do with our money. Yes, we can write it off. Yes, it helps lower our income. There are benefits of it. And yes, we can depreciate things over the course of years. Been there and done that. But overall, when new gear is released, it's not like some super exciting thing for us to run out and buy. We're much more concerned with profitability and going on vacation with our family and putting money in other areas, okay? Photography at my level of the game, after doing it 10 years full time, the gear and the tech and all that really loses its luster. It loses its appeal, and it very much becomes, what do I actually need to do my job? Like a carpenter needs a hammer and a screwdriver and a tape measure and a bubble level. You know, don't give a shit if it's made by Craftsman or Husky or Home Depot store brand. If it's gonna work and do the job, it's gonna work and do the job. And after a while, you kind of like start to think to yourself, well, why do I need the brand new camera? Or why do I need the brand new hammer when the other one is working just fine? And then that's just that mentality that I have. And I'm gonna talk more about that in just a second. If you're in the second group, the people that just have disposable income and you guys have awesome jobs and careers, and you know it's nothing for you to drop $3,000 and $4,000 on a lighting system, or $4 grand or $3 grand on the latest and greatest camera body that comes out, or pick up 2 of the hot lenses that were just released, or whatever it is. That's awesome. Like, you're actually in probably the best position when it comes to gear, and by all means, you know, definitely look at a lot of the popular YouTubers out there that talk about gear and, you know, get the latest information about it. That will never be me, because I'm only going to talk about the things that obviously I personally use in my own little world and things. And I'm not affiliated or endorsed, or nor do I have, there's no affiliate links on any of my videos to buy any gear at all. So I couldn't care any less what you guys do in terms of what you actually end up purchasing. I am not monetized by that whatsoever. And I think that's really important that everyone understands right out of the gate. Like, the advice I'm giving you guys is, if anything, counterintuitive of what the average YouTuber would want. You know, they would want to do a review on a camera and encourage you to buy it, and they make 3% or whatever it is, okay? That's not me at all. So I'm just talking truth with you guys. But yeah, if you're in that camp and you have the disposable income and you like the gear, there's nothing wrong with that. If that makes you happy and you just like it for the sake of owning it, that's totally cool. To put this in perspective, I taught an in-person workshop 2 years ago here in Miami, and one of the participants rolled up with $25,000 worth of camera equipment. And here he is learning the basics of how to use it. And that's, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna judge this person. Like, there's a part of me that scratches my head and is like, well, wait a minute, you know, that doesn't make any sense. But then it occurred to me after I started talking to him that he's not really like trying to make money with photography. He just he has money already. That's not a factor. And who am I to insinuate that he's trying to make money? He just wants to learn. He wants to learn. He wants to learn on the best gear, and he wants to pay me to do it. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Period. He's happy. I'm happy. Expectations are in alignment there. It's all good, right? Now here's where I really have an issue with like the way people look at gear, and especially on YouTube, and that is that you get these newcomers to photography that understandably see like videos, and I'll just use myself as an example. You know, they'll see my behind the scenes videos, they'll see me in the field working with, you know, expensive lights or cameras or whatever it is, and they'll be like, wow, you know, that review you did of the Profoto B10s, you know, inspired me to go out and buy a set. And I have gotten that comment on that one video I did, like, I don't know, 50 times, 60 times, of people that have actually gone and bought those lights. I really should have been monetized because I would have a lot more money than I have now. But regardless, you know, that's not the point. The point is that for some of you that are going out and spending that kind of money on those lights to go and learn on is really ludicrous. Like, it is just insane. And I almost feel bad if I haven't put some sort of a disclaimer out there, or maybe I needed to make this video a lot sooner than I am now, but at least I'm making it now. And I just want to like put this out there, if anything, to get it off my chest, and at least for me to sleep better at night. And I just don't want anyone to think for a split second that you have to have expensive photography gear to get the exact results that I get out in the field, okay? Like, I'm going to use the Profoto lighting system as a prime example because it's new, it's still sort of even now trending still, even though it's been out for a while now. But just the other day, like, I got a DM on Instagram from this girl, and she goes, I'm just starting out in photography. I just saved up finally enough money, and I brought the Profoto B10 system, and your videos were a huge inspiration. And I'm thinking two things. I'm thinking that's really great that she saw my video. I'm excited. But then on the flip side, I'm like, you stupid idiot. Like, why did you spend $4,000, $5,000 by the time you get modifiers and accessories? Like, you're really looking at $5,000 to get like a 2-light setup with like extra batteries and everything. I'm like, why in the world would you go and spend that kind of money when for $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 at the most, you could get two Godox 8400 Pros, which technically have more horsepower than the B10s, and a whole slew of modifiers for them, you know, at least the ones that I'm using in my videos, and save yourself a whole ton more money. You could have bought a brand new camera body just for the balance of the money. I mean, it's like, it's insane. It's insane. And I'm not making this video to hate on Profoto. I'm going to save that for a separate video. But just hear me out. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And let me just kind of cut to the chase and let me just give you a spoiler alert here. I'm absolutely happy putting my advice, what's that saying? Put your money where your mouth is. Like, I am totally okay with I'll sell all of my Profoto B10 gear, and I'll happily go Godox 8400 Pros. I'll get 2 of them, and then I'll just switch out the modifiers. You know, I'll buy the Godox versions of the same Profoto ones that I use or whatever off-brand they are. And in my videos going forward, I would be happy using that gear and getting the exact same results that I get now. Like, there's no shame in that. There's no problem with that whatsoever. And now the way, and this video actually comes at a really good time because now we're in this pandemic, and I will assure you all that photographers everywhere that are like me that do this for a living, we're hurting bad. Like no one's hiring us to do anything. Like, I haven't shot a wedding in 5 months now. And all the other ones that I had are all postponed, and I barely leave my apartment and scared to death to even go to a grocery store. So it's going to be a while before we get back in the swing of like shooting again. So right now especially is a time where I think a lot of people are kind of reevaluating their financial priorities, and when it comes to gear, that's a big one. So if you're going to use this downtime to learn your photography, absolutely do not overspend. Don't buy $5,000 lights. Don't buy $3,000 lights. Don't buy Profoto lights, okay? There's just no point in doing it. The light is light, and you guys, look, like, and I'm trying to keep it like not about Profoto, but I'm just saying, and it doesn't even have to be that. Like, you could be like, before Profoto, I used Elechrome, and I had all the Elechrome lights, right? And I sold all that, and I upgraded to the Pro. It's like, you know, that was also super expensive. It's almost the same price. Like, don't do that either. Like, don't do that. I'm not telling you that you have to buy crap, you know, stuff, and Godox is perfectly fine. So, in my opinion, the best value out there, dollar for dollar, watt-second to weight ratio, features, function, benefit, all that stuff, I think right now, at the time of recording this video in 2020, my money would absolutely go to Godox. That's what I would buy. I would buy it for their speed lights. And just so you guys know, I sold my Canon speed lights. I had 4 of them. I sold them all years ago, and I upgraded to the Godox manual only flashes, and I've used those in all of my weddings all around the world for all these years, and I've had 0 problems with them, and they've been amazing. I used them off camera with the Godox little Pro remote, which costs $74 compared to the Profoto remote, which is a lot more delicate and cost over $400. Okay. And I've had no problem using the Godox speed lights. And a lot of my friends out that live here in Miami, they use the Godox lights. A lot of them are even a lot more talented than I am, and they have had no issues with them. And so, and you know, it's just a matter of time here before I think a lot of people start to kind of realize that. So no shame in that at all. Look, if you're starting out, what you need a decent camera body. Don't go and buy the latest one. Yes, Canon is announcing the new EOS R5 and 6 or whatever it is. People have already started writing comments and DMing me, especially on Instagram because I'm more active there now, about my thoughts on those cameras. What do I think of them? And I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I didn't even look at the specs yet. Like I have no intention of upgrading my Canon EOS R. This camera has been fine. This replaced a 1DX. Like, it's totally fine. Like, it fits the bill for what I need. You know, the only thing I really want is 2 memory card slots. And yes, this camera doesn't have it. That's super annoying. So if there's anything that I would have to upgrade for, it would be that. But that's it, you know. And frankly, right now with the volume of work that I have and looking forward, it doesn't look too good. Like, there's no way I would consider upgrading a camera right now, okay? So, and if you're just starting out and you're just buying, then just get the EOS R. It's amazing. I love it. Or get the equivalent camera in Sony, the A7 III or whatever that is. Nikon is fine. Any of them are fine. You know, stick with the 3 main brands and you'll be good. Get yourself the 2 Trinity lenses. Get yourself a 24-70 2.8 and get yourself, if you can afford it, a 70-200 2.8. Just get those 2 lenses. You know, and people ask me, did you get the new Canon RF lenses? No, I didn't get the new RF lenses. Those would be nice, but they're insanely expensive. My lenses are 10 years old. These are old EF lenses that I use and have been using, and they just work fine. You know, luckily I don't need an adapter, which is really great, and they work great on my mirrorless Canon EOS R. And I'll continue using those until they break. And then when I'm forced to upgrade, then yes, I would get the RF lens because it makes the most sense with the current camera technology. But you see where I'm going with this. Like, you have to really assess what you need versus what you want. And it's very dangerous to get into that want territory, especially if you're in the 3rd group that I talked about and you're really hard to make ends meet and maybe you have a credit card. That's my other piece of advice. Do not buy gear on credit, okay? If you cannot afford the gear out of your checking account, do not buy it, okay? You have to be disciplined because it's way too easy. Ask me how I know. It's way too easy to rack up massive debt on a credit card, especially with points and Amex and all that, on gear. And then you turn around and all of a sudden you owe $30,000, $40,000. It can add up really, really insanely fast, depending upon who you are and what you're looking to do. So do not do that. Get yourself your camera, get yourself 2 good lenses, get yourself the Godox speed lights, and if you want to go bigger, then go with the Godox off-camera strobes. Any of them are good. The AD200 is fine, the 400 is great, the 600 is great. You can pretty much go to the bank and know that at some point in the future, you're likely going to see some Godox videos on this channel going forward. Mainly because I do believe in them. I think they're an amazing value. And this channel going forward, I really want it to be about doing more with less, keeping more money in your pocket, accomplishing more with photography with less gear, staying fit and healthy, and just making really smart decisions and helping people out. You know, that's what I'm sort of all about. And that's really the direction that I want to be going here with the channel, to help influence people. So hopefully some of that helps. Now, if you guys have constructive comments or want like recommendations and you are starting out, I'm happy to answer those comments down below. Feel free to drop me a line. Be patient with me. It's hard making videos here in quarantine, but I am using the time wisely. I have a whole list of things planned. At some point soon, there will be a Patreon page for people that want to get more personal with me on one-on-one level and get into learning the ins and outs of photography and editing and all the other cool stuff that I do. So that's coming around the corner here very shortly. So stay tuned for that, and it will not be expensive, okay? What else? I think that's it. I think those are all the points that I wanted to make. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Stay healthy, stay safe, wear your masks. We'll talk soon. Let's do it.